Hey, it's Ben, and this is Drambo by Beep Street. This video is going to be about a rack called Midi Mixer 4x4 that you can get from Patch Storage. It's a matrix mixer for Midi, and the knobs are there instead of just switches because you're not just mixing an on and off for the Midi, you're controlling the velocity of the Midi coming through. So you have 4 inputs. And here I have tracks 1, 2, 3, and 4 with just some very simple MIDI steps in. And you get 4 outputs. So A, B, C, and D. Right now I'm just using 2 of them, going into 5 and 6. So right now you hear nothing, and I'm just going to slowly fade in. So this really is best served if you have velocity sensitive patches. Here, I'm controlling the filter cutoff, low pass filter, and volume. With velocity, the volume is going through a shaper to give me better control over the velocity. And then I have another sound. It's just controlling the folding and decay time. And we could, come up with clips for this. So different like clip banks. I could attach this to scenes as well, or I could automate them, the different mixer channels, obviously. But it's just a fun way to take like a few MIDI inputs and a few simple sound sources that are velocity sensitive and drastically change the overall character of your track. So I have it set here. It's in the main rack, and it's sitting after tracks 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it's before 5 and 6. So I can send MIDI into the mixer and then out. If you want to do it this way, you're actually receiving from different tracks and going into a track's input. You have to go to the track settings and make sure it is set to receive instead of transpose. And then you always want it receiving MIDI so that you don't have to actively be in track 5 or track 6 for it to receive MIDI, unless you want that behavior. But you could also use one of these just on a track, and you could send in MIDI from different AUV3s. And you don't have to send in to more than one output, but you have the option, and it's a lot of fun. But you don't have to use it. You could receive input from MIDI devices, external hardware. You could send it out to external hardware. There's really nothing to this other than understanding that it controls the velocity When the knob is all the way at the counterclockwise side or all the way to the left, that it means no signals are going through, and it's also cutting off the gate. Anything over that is still sending a gate out, and then it's scaling up the velocity. Now, if your inputs have different velocities, it's going to scale those velocities. So you probably want to send in, for the most part, velocity in a higher range, like 127 or a little bit below that, if you still want some dynamic range for your input signals. But if you send in something like velocity 20 or 30, when it's turned all the way up for that channel, it's still only going to be, velocity amount 20 or 30. Just so I'm clear, the inputs come in from whatever MIDI channels you want or MIDI sources. Then it sends out through outputs A, B, C, and D. So your outputs are kind of down here. A is all in a row or column, B is in a column, C is in a column, and D is in a column. So it comes in and then down. In from track 2, down into C, or down into B, or down into D. I don't think there's any bugs in this one, but if you find anything wrong with it, please let me know. If you have any questions, let me know, and have fun with it.